Meetings have been going great, and people are loving them. They're just really enthusiastic about the fellowship. There's a lot of people that came to our first one and have never missed one since.
There are a lot of people on this call. This is so fascinating.
Dorothy Buckler, and I have 16 horses. I know that's too many, but what can you do?
I heard about you guys through a Facebook ad, and just thought it was an awesome thing. And I'm always trying to share more about God and what he's doing for me anyway, so it fits in perfectly.
I'm actually in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Victor Mathis, charter member, mentoring with horses out of East Tennessee.
And so we've talked about having a name choice contest. So maybe we will.
Yeah.
He is a licker. You see him licking me?
It's a cool shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? I just got it this week. I ride mostly English, some hunter jumpers, dressage, trail riding, basically reliving my childhood.
And I think in order for us to be made in the image of a spirit, John says, God is spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
This is worth double points. How many horses did Solomon have? If you're ever wondering, hey, did I actually do that? If you just scroll down, it'll give you sort of a feed, kind of like on Facebook, of every single thing that you've done.
She would like to boss them around. You're right. Here's the one that stopped the truck.
I heard about it on Facebook, and I'm really excited to just share the love of Jesus and the love of horses.
Ranch patterns and trail riding, and just really enjoying horses with some really good people. So
I've got to get my show points going. I've got to get with that. And I love your shirt, but we need an English rider.
Yes, I'm going to talk about that.
And this is my first time on with you guys, and I'm not a member. I'm just learning about your group. So
all right. Well, welcome.
I'm gonna go. This is the neediest cat in the world.
It's the biggest cat in the world, unless you are a very tiny person.
Gotten away from God a little bit, and I'm glad to I've been looking at your association for a few weeks and decided, kind of join the meeting and see how it all was. And you guys are very welcoming, so it's awesome.
We're very glad to have you.
We're glad you're here. I got to have a little praise report. My phone notifies me, and we just had a new notice come across the top of my phone that we have a new member has signed up for the Christian Horse Show Association. And that's a thrill every time that happens. This association is going and growing, and God's hand's upon it, and the anointing is building. I think these Zoom meetings are really adding to the fellowship. This is not just an unknown organization that you read about online. These are real people who love God and horses just like you do.
My name's Richard Varno. I'm the co-founder of the Christian Horse Show Association. I do a lot of the technical work and a lot of the biz dev stuff. And so if you can see all the Post-it notes hanging around my screen, if you look to the right, those are all things that I have to do. The next big push that we're doing is we're launching our partner clubs. So if you are putting on horse shows or friends with somebody that's putting on horse shows that would like to be an affiliated club with the CHSA, please have them go to the website and go to the contact page and fill out that form. And we should be reaching out to them in the next week or so. That way we'll have a list of, because, we love having our Zoom fellowships. But a lot of people would love to, have some real fellowship with some real people that are close to them. So we're trying to get that going here shortly. And I think that's it. I'll turn it over to Dave. He can introduce himself, talk a little bit about the association, and then we'll turn it over to our guest speaker, Miss BreeAnn.
All right, that sounds great. My name's David Davis. I'm the other co-founder of the Christian Horse Show Association. I'm based in Southern Indiana. I do train horses for a living. And I'm going to a big horse show in Harriman, Tennessee this weekend. It's affiliated with the National Range Stock Horse Association. So I've been busy riding those 3 horses and bathing them and clipping their ears. And I was rushing around clipping horses' ears because I had somebody available to help hold them still right before it's time to come to the house and start the phone and get on the Zoom call. So then we'll be driving to Tennessee tomorrow, and then we'll show Saturday. Meanwhile, I've had guys here mowing hay, and they're saying some of it would be ready tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to handle raking hay while I'm gone or not. They could. That would be a blessing if they do. So I pray that all goes well with them. So that makes our ranch, the Davis Ranch here in Hardinsburg, Indiana, the world headquarters for the Christian Horse Show Association. And I'd like to extend a personal invitation to every one of you to come here and see it sometime. And we do plan to hold an annual awards banquet here where we can pass out our World Championship awards along with a praise and worship service here at the Davis Ranch. We had one scheduled and a snowstorm forced us to cancel it for the 25 season. So for our 26 season, we fully intend to have one. And I guess what works well for us is, our points count from January 1st to December 31st. So then we'll have our awards banquet in January following the close of the 26 show season.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if we'll do it in January this year. We might maybe we should try to wait till March this year, because that way we'll have time to get all the, everybody will have gotten their awards by then. And then we will, or if they want to pick up their awards at the banquet, we can have them shipped there. Because that might save, and then that way we won't be fighting. It's hard to get to, sometimes it's hard to travel before March. So we'll figure it out.
Indiana winters in January, very iffy traveling.
Yeah.
So March may be better. Great. So that's what was on my mind to share this time about myself and the organization. And so now I think we are ready to introduce Bree Bryant, and she's going to tell us about her equestrian-oriented ministry.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, everybody. This is super fun. I don't get to do a lot of these, and it's been just really cool. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll kind of share the story of how my family and I got to Refuge Mountain Ranch. We're located out here in Garrett County, Maryland, so the westernmost county in Maryland. And then I can kind of tell you a little bit more about the ministry. But just the way that we work there was just so beautifully orchestrated by God that it's a pretty, it's just a good story. It's a good way to kind of share a little bit about who I am. So I was originally the equine director at a residential program for teen girls in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So the girls would come live at the program for a year or more. Usually we tried to grad them before 2 years, but we had horses, and they had daily interactions with the horses. A lot of that was chores. We figured if they get the fun part, they better get the work too. And we also do wilderness trips. So we do 4 trips a year. 2 are hiking and 2 are canoeing. The short trips are practice 3 to 5 days, and the long trips are anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. And so I worked at that program since 2013. I started that program. And then
hey, Miss Bree, just one thing. If you don't mind, I wanted to interrupt you before you got too far.
Sure.
Can you sort of tell everybody, as part of what you're doing, about the International Ranch Ministry Conference, and talk about that a little bit as well, in addition?
Yes, I'll make sure I plug that in too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So once I started having children and stuff, I moved to part-time, and then I really felt God was calling me to kind of share the work that we do with horses and working on relationships with each other, with ourselves, and with him. And so I started consulting for a number of other programs. I traveled, at that point I was based in Pennsylvania, but I traveled to Maryland, Virginia, and even up into New York to consult for programs, help them prep their horses, help them train their staff, and all that good stuff. And so I originally got connected to Refuge Mountain Ranch here in Maryland as a consultant. And I had told our executive director, Ben, that, hey, I can be here a couple of days a month. I can help you train horses. I can help you train in your staff. But I can't be here that much because we've already committed to another venture with good friends of ours in Southern Virginia. And I already said yes to that. And I'd love to come work with you, but I just can't be here full time. And so our family, at this time, I was doing a kind of long study of the book of Joshua. And so I'm going to be jumping all over the place, folks. So if you might have to do a lot of flipping. Sorry about that. And I love the beginning of Joshua because it's one of my favorite. I'll just read it and then I'll tell you why I love it. So this is Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan into the land I'm about to give you. And I just love that because it's like, I get this feeling, it's like, oh, Moses, my servant, is dead. Yes, very sad. Moving on. Like the mission doesn't stop because one of us has gone to be with the Lord. And so I'll skip down to verse 7 where it says, be strong and courageous. And it repeats that line, be strong and courageous, multiple times. And so I was reading through Joshua and hearing that kind of in my head and hearing God speak that over me over and over again, which is why my husband and I really felt led and made the decision to sell our house, uproot our lives, and move to Virginia. Well, we ended up only being in Virginia for about 2 months. And without going into the details of all of that, there were just some things with the relationship down there that weren't, I'm trying to be kind because there aren't, and not tell somebody else's story, but essentially there are things that weren't safe or healthy for my kiddos. And so we left, we pulled out, we had sold everything. We were going to be working on this property, and part of our working there was our room and board was pay, basically. So when we said, okay, this isn't okay for us, and left, we had no jobs and nowhere to live. And this was the day we moved out. We decided, hey, this isn't going to work, was the Saturday before Easter. It was Friday night, and then Saturday morning, we finally made a decision we're out. And so we sat for that whole day, and just my husband and I just kind of sat together and thought, what in the world are we going to do? And then we were at my folks' house for Easter. And so after the lunch, I messaged Ben, who I had talked with kind of loosely before, and said, hey, that thing in Virginia that I was committed to, I'm not so committed to anymore. Do you still have a job for me? Now, this was 6 months later, so they could have hired a whole staff team. And he said, you know what? We'd love to have you come out and look at the ranch. He goes, and just so you know, there's a small 3-bedroom house on the property that we just fixed up. We just got done with the repairs this week, just in case someone would want to come work here and would need a place to live with their family. And we have an extra pasture and everything in case they wanted to bring their own horses, they could do that as well. And so we were feeling like, obviously, my husband and I were feeling like, wow, what a God thing. And so we would have moved to the ranch June 5th of last year. And one of the things, I don't know if you all have seasons in your Bible, but I have seasons. And I think it's because our wilderness tripping season is over the summer, typically is when we do canoe trips. And the very first canoe trip I ever did, it was 2 weeks, and the theme was in Hebrews. And so the verse there's a lot of good stuff in Hebrews 11. So I'm not going to read you the whole chapter because it's real good. The one that stuck out to me as we were kind of preparing for this move was when it's Hebrews 11, verse 16. Instead, they were looking for a better country, a heavenly one. And therefore, God is not ashamed to be their God, for he has prepared a city for them. And I just loved this reminder that there was this like turmoil in my life. We had no idea what we were going to do. And God had already prepared a place for us. And God was already orchestrating all of that to be exactly what we needed. And fast forward to a year later, all of our staff team have moved in, and we started I did my very first horsemanship training with our brand new staff this morning. And we have a work group here that's putting up fence and putting floors down in our main building. We have people clearing brush and trails. We have people mowing and trimming, and we have a thrift store also that helps support the ranch financially. And we have all this stuff going on. And so the verse that I shared with my staff team this morning was in Nehemiah So I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but bear with me.
Okay. Hey, I gotta jump in here and say, did you say this morning, meaning today?
Today, this morning, yeah.
Wow. So we're right in on this with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Cutting edge current events. Okay, that's
yeah.
thrilling.
So our last staff person would have moved in over the weekend, and we did our first like staff orientation and got in the round pen with some horses this morning. So
wow,
we're really
awesome.
excited about it. So
yes.
what I shared with my staff team this morning was from Nehemiah 4, just verse 19 and 20. Then I said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, the work is extensive and spread out. And boy, are we feeling that this morning.
Yeah.
Trying to get a ranch open. The work is extensive and spread out, and we are widely separated from each other along the wall. Whenever you hear the sound of the trumpet, join us there. Our God will fight for us. And that, I think, it's a short little passage, but it's such a good vision, good picture of what's happened at the ranch in the last year since I've been here. The work is extensive and spread out. And as a staff team, we're trying to do our best to, hey, when one of us is in trouble, let's gather around and we're going to watch God fight for us. And that has been true over and over again, that when we've had a need, God has met it. When we needed staff, he brought them. When we need finances, he brought them. And it's just such a huge blessing to be tired from work that is just so obviously orchestrated by God and prepared by God. So yeah, it's been a ride. We're really excited about it though. So to give you to bring us to now and give you a little history of the ranch and what I do. So I have a certification in equine-assisted therapy, trauma-focused equine-assisted therapy, and trauma-informed equine-assisted learning. I also have a life coaching certification in trauma-informed life coaching with the American Association of Christian Counselors. And so all of that to say that we are aiming to open our ranch and have our first group of teen girls come live on the property by the end of September, beginning of October. The ranch is about, I think it's 370 some acres. We have a house completely remodeled, ready for girls to live in. Like I mentioned, we're starting to train staff and get them ready to walk with these teen girls every day. Our goal long term is to have 4 houses of 8 girls. So 32 girls total on the property once we really get cooking here. And we're just really excited. So I have been a speaker at I have to remember, so I started speaking at the International Ranch Conference when it was the East Coast Clinic and Fellowship. So I have to I've been going to that for years and I just love it, but I have to recalibrate my brain to not say the East Coast Clinic. I have to say the International Ranch Conference. I've been presenting at that for years now. Last year, because of all our moving, I missed it, but I'm super excited to be back again this year. I'm doing a pre-conference clinic called Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, and we're just going to talk about how God has designed our brains and bodies to deal with the fallen world we live in and how we can help our horses and the hurting people that we work with grow and learn through that understanding and through just understanding how trauma impacts us and all that good stuff. And then I'll be speaking. I have a session on Saturday morning and I think a Sunday afternoon session as well. So I'm pretty gung-ho about being back, and there's lots of good friends that I missed last year that I'm ready to reconnect with. So
wonderful. And I'm going to be a speaker this year, and I was last year, but you and I didn't meet because last year's the only year you missed. So we hadn't met each other.
Yeah.
So we will be there at the same place fellowshipping this year.
Yeah, it'll be good to see you in person. So I can answer questions. If y'all want, I can talk a little more detail about what we do at the ranch, but if y'all have questions, I'd love to answer them if you have them.
Good. We do always open it up for questions to our speakers at the end, so that's fine. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask Bree. The question that came to my mind, is there a testimony that comes to your mind about a girl that has been helped that you have worked with?
Oh yeah. So it's all of my stories, unfortunately, are going to be from the previous ministry I worked with, just because we don't have girls here yet, but I can share a quick one. So I had a young lady, and she gave me permission to share this story. she was working the round pen with her horse Skip, who's this big Palomino. He's a quarter horse. He's a little thoroughbred in there too. She's big, gorgeous. Would have loved to be a show horse. Ended up being a therapy horse. And what we were trying to do was, she was asking him to jump some barrels online, and I said, hey, I wonder what would happen. Like, he's doing that. He's being very obedient, but I wonder what would happen if you take the lead line off and ask him to jump the same thing without a lead line on. It's just see. I'm just curious what happens. Like, is he actually doing it because he knows it's the right thing to do, or is he doing it because you got a rope on him and he can't get away? And so she did. And about an hour and 15 minutes later, the horse still hadn't gone over the barrels. And he would go walk up to jog up to the edge, put his feet down, look over the barrel, like at the spot he was supposed to land, look at her, turn around and run back. And it was a pretty, anyway. So I'm sitting on the top rail of my round pen, and after an hour or so of this, I see this girl's shoulders just slump and start shaking. So I hop off, I put my arm around her, and she's crying. And so just to give you some background, this was a young lady who was actually from, she was adopted into a Mennonite household. So back in Lancaster, a lot of the folks we work with are conservative Mennonite or Amish, which is really a fun group of people to work with. You get a lot of homemade bread and pies and stuff. And she had really been pushing back against her parents about their expectations for her with church. And she's a 16-year-old girl, so she's living at home. She needs to come under her parents' authority, and we've been trying to help her see that it's actually good for you to do that, and they're not just, your parents aren't just being a stick in the mud. They have your best interest at heart. And so she's crying. It's hot. It was the middle of the summer, so the horse is dripping sweat, still choosing to turn around and run back rather than go over the barrels like we asked. And she looks at me, and through her tears, she goes, Miss Bree, I don't understand. He knows the right answer. Why does he keep choosing to do something that's not good for him and not good for me? And she stiffened for a second, then she looked at me and said, don't you dare tell my mother I said that. And of course, my very first phone call was to her mom. Right? She goes, don't you dare tell my parents I said that.
That is awesome.
Because think of how many times her parents had looked at her and said, sweetheart, we just want what's best for you. Why won't you just do what we're asking? It's going to be good for you. And it was a really good moment for her to experience what it felt like to be on the other side of that relationship. And we got to talk through that. I got to sit with her and pray through that like spirit of rebellion and that like spirit of defiance that she was just holding on to, left over from her trauma. She'd been adopted from the Ukraine. And even though her parents weren't there, her ability to respond to them completely shifted after that. And then her ability to respond to what the Lord had for her completely shifted. And so it was just, that's one of my favorite stories to tell. It's funny, but also it's one of the beautiful things that the work with the horses do is that we talked about this with this girl for months while she was with the program, but having her see it in front of her eyes and live it out made the lesson hit her heart in a way that it hadn't before. So
yes,
yeah, that's.
I can so identify with everything you said.
Yeah.
Horses do convey a message, and you can't argue because horses don't lie, and it's never the horse's fault. You got to figure out a way to make the horse do the right thing. It's character building. It develops character qualities in people. The next thing comes to my mind to ask you is, do you do much liberty stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I like to do liberty training, and I have one horse that performs well at liberty, so that is a thing of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, most of our sessions start at liberty. The girls have to earn the ability to get, you have to be able to get the horse to, first of all, want to come to you before you can get a halter on the stinking thing, right? And so I would say for the first 3 or 4 sessions with most people, we don't have a halter on the horse at all. And we start completely at liberty. If I can help it, we start in a pretty large area. We've got probably an 80-foot round pen, but it's in the middle of a big old 6-acre pasture. I'd rather start out in the pasture at liberty and just where the horse has lots and lots of good choices. And there's something about it that we don't, we find our clients don't stay in the honeymoon phase too long, and they can't make up for. You can kind of make up for some stuff with a halter and a lead rope if you've got a well-trained horse, and
Yes.
without that as a safety net, like when you take, what's the Liberty saying, when you take off the halter and lead rope, there's only one thing left, and it's called the truth. And we like to see the truth with these girls and these horses pretty quick. So
I like that.
We started Liberty quite a bit. And then we work up to having a halter on and doing more kind of typical horsemanship practices. And then I have a list of, I think, about 20 things that they have to show me they can do with their horse before they're allowed to ride. Most of these girls have never pet a horse or sat on one at a pony ride at a birthday party or a petting zoo. But a lot of them, quite honestly, come to the ranch with this vision of like galloping across the field with the wind in their hair. And then they get here and find out that it's actually, we do hard work here. We have lots of fun too, but we do hard work. And so they have a list of stuff they have to show me how to do that tells me their relationship with their horses at a spot that it would be safe for them to ride. And then we start riding. So that takes quite a bit. One of the things I'm spoiled with is that obviously we're not doing outpatient or a lesson where I have a student for an hour once a week. These girls live here, so we can do multiple sessions a week. We can do lots and lots of time with the horses. So we have the time to work on a lot of those maybe more in-depth skills that you wouldn't normally do with just an outpatient therapy client.
Yes, I so understand that. That is great.
Yeah.
You know, I give riding lessons on Tuesday afternoons, have done it for decades. And I like to do riding lesson classes. And one thing I have learned over the years is many people just want a pony ride, and they don't want to have to learn to do parts of it that they don't like to do. And so I am not a pusher. If they want to ask me questions and they want to learn things, I'll be glad to teach them. But if they just want a pony ride, think how much easier it would be for me to just catch the horse, which I don't even allow anybody else to walk out and catch my horses when they're loose, because the best old gentle horses that are easy to catch and have been for 20 years, and they run out there and snatch at their head and make them snort and scare them. So that Liberty stuff right there. So I catch them. And then if they want to learn to put a saddle on, okay, but it would be way easier for me to just throw the saddle on, strap it up, we're done. So then the same is true with cleaning out their hooves. Little kids crawling under horses' legs trying to pick up their feet, and they scare them and they get stepped on and make the horses hard to pick up their feet because they don't do it right. It's so much easier for me to just clean out their hooves and set them on it. And sometimes I just lead them around. It's a pony ride, but they're not learning much. It's way more effort on my part to teach them how to do it. It would be way easier for me to just do it. But as an educator using horses, I'm sure you can identify with what I'm saying. You need to let them have an opportunity to try to do it. And that's so much more work to talk them through.
Yeah, it is. But the beautiful thing that I like about when you're talking about even just leading a kiddo around on the horse, maybe they're not learning a lot, but there's something that's really cool that happens in their body. And some of us who ride horses a lot know, you just feel, you get on a horse and you settle in, and I don't know about y'all, but like, I just feel so much calmer after we move around for a little bit. And there's a reason for that. So the same things that calm down big humans are the things that calm down little humans. And so if you think of a little baby, what happens when that baby is upset? I have 2 little boys. My son falls and skins his knee. I pick him up and I hold him and I rock him. And he gets to calm down because he's being held and rocked and carried by someone bigger and stronger than him. What I found is if you look at a teenage girl who thinks she's too cool to be here and tell her, look, I think what would actually really help you calm down your nervous system is if I hold you and rock you like a baby. They tend to not come back to therapy after that, right? They think that weird lady thinks I'm 2 and I'm not. But if I put her on the back of a horse, what is she getting? She's getting the sensation of someone bigger and stronger than her, holding her and rocking her and carrying her. And we can start to have a conversation about what it's like to have God, who's way bigger and stronger than we are, hold us and carry us through hard things. And so your kiddos, even if all they're doing is getting basically a pony ride, their body is still getting that sensation and their body is still calming down. So maybe they're calmer throughout the day, even though they didn't learn much.
Okay. That's very insightful. I'm glad you shared that with me.
Yeah.
That might make me more patient to just continue to do those basic things
Yeah.
that are so repetitive and so introductory to me, but I think it is ministering to them.
Yeah, you can tell yourself, this isn't a pony ride. This is a what do we call it? This is a horseback riding intervention to regulate a nervous system. Doesn't it sound real professional compared to pony ride?
Yeah, it does. Oh, wow, that's great. And I do believe all that stuff is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a couple of questions in the chat as well.
Okay.
Miss Holly wanted to know if there's any opportunities to participate in the conference online. I don't think there are.
No, as far as I'm aware, there's no like live streaming of the conference. There was a year that they recorded and you could purchase the recordings, and I don't know if you can still repurchase like the previous recordings from
I think that's actually on their website for free now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can watch a conference, I think it was 2024 that they recorded and have those up, so you can watch. I was at that one, so if you care to watch my previous sessions, and there's lots of other good folks on there too. But for this year, I think it's all in person.
But I will say, if you can possibly make it at the conference, it's really it's really because it's not just the information that you're learning. It's the friends you're making. It's the network you're building. It's the connections. It's the where people can pray for each other, and you can really iron sharpens iron, and just you're gonna meet people there that you're going to be friends with for the rest of your life. People that you can call when you don't know what to do and, get advice, or people that you can mentor, or people that you can, one of the things, it's kind of similar to church these days, and nothing against if the only church you can attend is online. I realize that sometimes it's just hard to find a church where you're near. And so online is definitely better than nothing. But when you can be around other believers, it might not just be what can I get out of it. It might be, okay, there's somebody here that God wants me to minister to. And you can't do that if you're not in person. So I recommend, if you can possibly make it, get to the conference, because it is a life-changing thing. And then Miss Mary asked, where did you get your certifications? You said you have 2 horse related and 1 in Christian counseling.
Yeah. So my certification is through a program called Natural Lifemanship. They're based in Brenham, Texas. They are a program that certifies equine professionals, which is me, and licensed counselors to do equine-assisted therapy, trauma-focused.
What's the name of that again?
Natural Lifemanship. They're in Brenham, Texas. They have online and in-person courses. They're not paying me to advertise for them, but it is one of the better certifications I found. There's lots of good ones out there. My first certification actually was with EGALA, the Equine-Assisted Growth and Learning Association. That certification was a weekend. I went for a 3-day weekend. They handed me a certificate and went, hey, good luck. And I loved it. It got me started. Natural Lifemanship to get certified with them is a much more intensive process. So there's 2 courses you have to take that are like 15-week courses each. There's a series of video consultations, both single and group, and then there's some professional qualifications. What I like about the consulting and the consultation requirement is they want you to go out and start doing the work, and then come back and say, here on the consultation, and say, here are my questions. And what I loved about that was they don't just, here's the training, go out and good luck to you. You stay connected over the course of several weeks as you do that. And I felt it really equipped me. They're not a Christian organization, but their model is so easy to bring our faith into that I just really, really enjoy it. So I'd encourage y'all to check that out. And then I have a certification as a trauma-informed life coach through the American Association of Christian Counselors. I did mine as an online course, but there was a hybrid activity with an interview and that kind of thing as well. But that's another online course that you can do that was really excellent.
My wife, Miss Rhonda, says that she also went through the natural life-and-ship, and my wife actually got her certification from the American Association of Christian Counselors as well.
Cool.
And it's a good program.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's just super helpful. Really great organization to work with. Are there other questions?
I'm going to throw some of those links in the chat. If anybody else has any other questions, and I'll start the trivia. I'll get the trivia link here shortly, but I think there's probably some other folks that want to ask some questions, so we'll give a few.
There was one more question in the chat. What's on your checklist to see if the kids are ready to ride? That might be too much. You said there's 20, but I am interested in that.
So here's what I'll do. I will just drop my email in the chat, and anybody who'd like that list, just shoot me an email, and I will send you the PDF of our checklist. We call it our pre-ride checklist.
Can you give us the top three?
The top three. The first one is you have to be able to ask your horse to connect through attachment and detachment. So basically, you have to be able to have your horse get connected to you while they're close and while they're far away. Number two, you have to be able to touch your horse all over. So if you can't pet his ears, you don't ride him.
Okay.
And I forget what order. I always forget what order these are in, because depending on the kid, I teach them in a different order. But number three is you must be able to, and this is the key, they all say easily. You must easily be able to back your horse out of your space. So not walloping, it has to be easy. So, but I will just go ahead and put my email in the chat, and y'all, if anybody wants that, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to share any of the stuff that I have with y'all.
Right.
Thank you for such a wonderful talk.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This has been wonderful. Any other questions? I don't want to make us late for trivia.
Richard, what did you put in the chat? AACC.net? What's that?
Yes, that's the American Association of Christian Counselors. And I also put in there for the EGALA, for the National Life-and-Ship. I also put the Refuge Mountain Ranch website in there, and the Wings of Hope Conference. That's the Wings of Hope Ranch Conference is for the International Ranch Ministry Conference. Also, we are finalizing the merchandise for that. So that is probably going to be on sale. We're going to get it. Last year we didn't really do the merch. We didn't think about doing merchandise until it was almost too late to order it and get it for the conference. So this year we're going to get it going here, at least a month in advance, if not earlier. We were waiting for all the final sponsors to get in. So I think we've got those set now. So keep your eye out. If you're going to the conference and want to have merch to wear there, watch your email and watch the website for that.
Good, because I absolutely do want to get some 26 International Ranch Ministry Conference merchandise to wear at the conference.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to, if nobody does anybody else have any other questions or comments or anything like that before we get into our trivia? I'm going to drop the link here in the chat in just a minute. Thank you, Miss Bree. We really enjoyed your speaking. We appreciate you joining us. We hope you'll come back. Because like I said, this is, even though we're the Horse Show Association, we've really become a network of all these equine related ministries, and iron sharpens iron, and we've helped start equine ministries, gotten them off the ground, and we're always here to advise and pray for people. Our philosophy is, if you're doing something for God, we want to help you do it.
Very cool.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop the trivia link. We use an application called Kahoot. So if you go to kahoot.it, you could download the app. Sometimes it's handy to have to be able to answer the questions on a separate device. You can do it on the same thing that you're watching the Zoom meeting on, but sometimes it's confusing because people click on the screen instead of on their app. So I'm going to share my screen here in just a second. You can click on the link in the chat, or you could just, if you have the app downloaded already, you can just put the PIN number in, And the PIN number is 901-8347. I'll put that in the chat as well. And then I'm going to share my screen. And there's also a QR code that you can just point your phone at, and it will find the right screen to share here. You can also just scan the QR code. Can everybody see my screen?
Hey, Richard, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I wish I could stay with y'all for trivia, but I've got 2 little boys that want mama to tuck them in for bedtime.
That is absolutely fine.
I just wanted to say thank
you
y'all for
again
having
so
me.
much for enjoying us.
Thanks for being here.
To be here, and good luck to y'all at trivia.
We look forward to
That's
seeing
great.
you.
Blessings to you. I'll see you at the conference.
Yep, looking forward to seeing y'all. Bye.
Okay, bye.
And Miss Louisa, we're going to pray for you again. The same power that raised Christ from the dead is alive and working on the inside of you and is quickening your mortal flesh. And we will pray for your work situation as well. All right, we'll give everybody just a few minutes to join here before we get started. I do ask that when you register, please make your name something I can recognize, because if you win, we do send out $10 gift cards to the first, second, and third place winners that you can use for merch. We've got our new T-shirts out. Our spur each other on to good works, and I will try to get those gift cards out this weekend. We had an issue with our non-competing memberships not renewing correctly, so we got that straightened out now. So we're looking forward to. So I'll get those gift cards out so folks can get their new T-shirts and stuff like that. We're also coming out with some new CHSA T-shirts that we're going to use for membership, where it's just got a small logo on the chest and then it's got something larger on the back. We've had a lot of requests for things of that nature. All right. Anybody else? Anybody still trying to join? I've got Holly, Mary, Tom, Amelia, Miss Bass Knight, Sheila, Melissa, Destiny, Nikki, Dana, Rhonda, Sherry, Siggy, Steph, and Dave.
That's 13 people.
That's a lot of folks. We only got 16 on the call, and one of them's me. So, all right.
Bree signed off.
Well, I think we will get started here. All right. Welcome to CHSA Trivia for July 23rd. First question. How many gallbladders do horses have? Red, 1, 2. I'm sorry. Red, 1. Blue, 2. Yellow, 3. 1 for each stomach. Or green, 0. How many gallbladders do horses have? Red, 1. And the correct answer is 0. Horses have no gallbladders. And let's see who's on top. Miss Sheila on top. Siggy and Steph in second place. Mary in third place. Miss Nikki in third place. And Miss Destiny on the board in fifth place. Let's move on to question number 2. This one's worth double points. Fill in the blank. Many are called, but few. Red, answer. Blue, are chosen. Yellow, are listening. Green, pick up the phone. Many are called, but few. Red, answer. Blue, are chosen. Yellow, are listening. Or green, pick up the phone. And the correct answer is are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. All the scripture questions tonight are going to be fill in the blank. We might do that for a few weeks. I've come across some Bible crossword puzzles, so that'll give me a bunch of questions that I can use.
Right.
And all right, Miss Sheila is on top. Destiny now moved up to second place. Dave on the board in third. Siggy and Steph hanging in there at fourth, and Miss Nikki hanging in there at fifth. And all the Bible questions tonight are fill in the blank, and all of the horse questions are related to the horse's digestive system. So I'll tell you a funny story about that at the end. How many stomachs does a horse have? Question number 3. Red, 1. Blue, 2. Yellow, 3. Or green, 4. How many stomachs does a horse have? Red, 1. Blue, 2. Yellow, 3. Or green, 4. And the correct answer, 11 people got this right. A horse only has 1 stomach. It is not a ruminant. And Miss Sheila still on top. Miss Destiny now has 3 correct in a row. Dave on the board in 3rd. Siggy and Steph is still in 4th. And Nikki still in 5th. Let's move on. Question number 4. This one is worth double points. Fill in the blank. Thy blank is a lamp under my feet. Red, spirit. Blue, word. Yellow, voice. Or green, fire. Thy blank is a lamp under my feet. And 13 people got this right. Thy word is a lamp under my feet and a light under my path. That was a very, who sang that? Amy Grant, I think, sang that.
Yes.
So, well, I mean, David wrote it, but Amy Grant did a popular version of it. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. All right, Miss Sheila now has 4 correct answers in a row. She's still on top. Destiny's still in 2nd. Siggy's still in 3rd. Dave's still in 4th. And Nikki's still in 5th. We're almost halfway there. Anything could still happen. Question number 5. If stretched end to end, how long is a horse's digestive tract? Red, 55 feet. Blue, 75 feet. Yellow, 85 feet. Or green, 100 feet. If stretched end to end, how long is a horse's digestive tract? Red, 55 feet. Blue, 75 feet. Yellow, 85 feet. Or green, 100 feet. The correct answer is green. A horse's digestive tract stretched end to end is approximately 100 feet long. Although I suppose that depends on the size of the horse. But it's pretty long there. All right, Siggy and Steph now in 1st place. Sheila in 2nd. Destiny in 3rd. Dave hanging in there 4th. And Miss Nikki hanging in there 5th place. And 4 participants just dropped their answer streak of 4. Question number 6. Worth double points. Man shall not live by blank alone. Red, faith. Blue, love. Yellow, desire. Or green, bread. Man shall not live by blank alone. And the correct answer, 13 people got this right. Man shall not live by bread alone. And Siggy and Steph still on top. Destiny edging up to 2nd place. Miss Sheila on the board in 3rd place. Dave hanging there 4th. And Miss Nikki still hanging in there 5th place. Still pretty tight. Anything could happen. A few questions left. Question number 7. What is the non-scientific name for a horse's cecum? Red, mane. Blue, the dock of the tail. Yellow, the blind gut. Or green, the kneecap. What is the non-scientific name for a horse's cecum? Red, mane. Blue, dock of tail. Yellow, blind gut. Or green, kneecap. And the correct answer, I guess I shouldn't have said all the questions are about the horse's digestive tract because that kind of gave it away. 10 people got this right. It is the blind. It's referred to as the blind gut. And Miss Destiny now on top. Holly's got a streak of 4 correct answers in a row. Siggy and Steph in 2nd. Dave in 3rd. Melissa now on the board in 4th place. And Miss Nikki now hanging in there in 5th place. So what do we got? 8, 9, 10. 3 questions left. Question number 8. This one's worth double points. The spirit is willing, but the blank is weak. Red, mind. Blue, resolve. Yellow, flesh. Green, eye. The spirit is willing, but the blank is weak. Red, mind. Blue, resolve. Yellow, flesh. Or green, eye. And the correct answer, 13 people got this right. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And Miss Destiny, 3 participants just hit an answer streak of 7. I don't think I've ever seen it this close. All top 5 is it very, very close together. So anything could still happen here. Miss Destiny edging everybody out just by a nose. Siggy and Steph in second place. Dave still in third. Melissa hanging in there fourth. And Miss Sheila is now on the board in fifth place. 2 questions left. Anything could happen. Question number 9. Where is the location of the blind gut or the cecum? Red, the stomach. Blue, the small intestine. Yellow, the large intestine. Or green, the liver. Where is the location of the blind gut? Red, the stomach. Blue, the small intestine. And the correct answer is yellow. It is the very beginning of the large intestine. And I'll tell you a little funny story about that. My wife went to MTSU for horse-related stuff, and they had to do a presentation, and their on the horse's digestion, and they did a dramatic reenactment of the life of a blade of grass as it passes through the horse's digestive system. And she had both of her teachers almost falling on the floor in laughter. So needless to say, she got an A. But it was, she wishes she would have reported it. All right. Miss Destiny still on top, but not by much. Sheila now in second place. Siggy and Steph hanging there in third. Mary, our reigning trivia champion, is making a late run, now in fourth place. And Miss Nikki in fifth place still. 3 participants hit an answer streak of 4. So this is it. This decides it all. Our very last question. Worth double points. Love is blank. Red, fleeting. Blue, forever. Yellow, patient. Or green, life. Love is. And the correct answer, all 14 people got this right. Love is patient. And to illustrate that, before we move on to the final winner, I'll tell you, don't ever pray for patience, because there is only one way that prayer gets answered. So that is you never pray for patience. All right. So let's see who won. In third place, Miss Sheila. In second place, Siggy and Steph. And in first place, our new reigning trivia champion is Miss Destiny.
Yay!
Our runners up.
Congratulations, Destiny.
Nickety and Miss Nikki. So thank you guys for playing. I will try to get gift cards out this week, so folks can get some of our new cool shirts, or maybe save them and pre-order some of your International Ranch Ministry merch. So thank you guys for playing.
I thank God for giving me a dream to keep me living right, to give my life a purpose so I can fight the good fight. Trying to be the best that I can keeps me on the right track. Now that I know that I've chosen the right way, I could never want to turn back. Now that I know that I've chosen the right way, I could never want to turn back. Jesus, I could never want to turn back.